Okay, g'day and welcome to the Travelling Lawyer, another vlog episode. This week I am in Albury, a local court in southern New South Wales. I've then got a matter at Beaudesert court in Queensland, and then after that I shoot straight out to Goondiwindi Magistrates Court, where I've got a matter there on Wednesday. As you can see from the vlog, I've just touched down in Melbourne. It's Sunday afternoon, and it's just been the end of the finish of the Formula One, Australian Formula One Grand Prix, and there are people scattered everywhere and all sorts of Ferrari logos and t-shirts, and it's been a bit of a party down here in Melbourne. But I am just about to get into my hire car. It is getting later on at night. It's about 8 o'clock, and I've got a bit of a drive ahead of me, so I've got to then get in my hire car and drive up to Albury, which is about a 3.5 hour drive. So I've just touched down into Albury. I'm absolutely wrecked. I'm really tired at this time of night. It's just after midnight, been driving for many hours and had a long day of transit and travel and other stuff going on. So I've just touched down in Albury. I'm just checking into the Mantra Hotel at Albury, and looking forward to getting some well-needed shut-eye. So this is the Mantra at Albury, Bit of a bathroom setting here. Well, it looks pretty clean and nice, pretty standard hotel. Got fridge, microwave, sink, queen size bed. Better whack there's a safe there. Whack my suit in there. Iron my shirt in the morning. TV. Small little desk. A little bit of a view to the outside. I'm on the 4th floor here at the Mantra Albury. Pretty basic, pretty small room. Nothing to write home about, but it's pretty clean. I think the cost of the night was about $180, so it's probably about right. And that's the accommodation for tonight in Albury, in rural, very southern New South Wales. So I'm just walking up to the Albury local court, where I'm just about to go in and do my client's matter. So I'll report back on the matter once it's all finalised and done, and once I get out of court shortly. I'm just outside Albury local court, where I've appeared on a high range drink driving offence. The blood alcohol reading was 0.157. Nothing significantly aggravated about this matter. Our client, originally from India, he's been here for the past 10 years, since 2014. He resides in Melbourne, but on the night of the offence in late January, he did come up to Albury region to meet up with his cousin. Went to dinner with his cousin, had some drinks, went to drive and stay at his cousin's place in Lavington, and on the way there, he was seen doing a U-turn, which probably wasn't all that kosher. He wasn't charged with performing an illegal U-turn, but that gave him a reason for the police to pull him over and breath test him very late at night, 2:30 a.m. in the morning. It was a positive reading and a final BAC of 0.157. Nothing significantly aggravated about the matter. I mean, aside from the U-turn, it was very late at night, no other pedestrians or cars around. He was the sole occupant of the vehicle. He wasn't speeding, driving erratically, nothing untoward like that. he had a very good traffic record. One speeding offence in 2019 in Victoria. And he went and did the traffic offenders program. He works as a concrete truck driver. Since being off the road, he has been unable to work, which has caused him significant financial problems. Very remorseful, put before the court a letter of apology, got some good character references. First offence and relatively low level of objective seriousness, despite the reading falling into the high range category. There was a fair bit of discussion between myself and the bench today about the interlock. This is a matter that has occurred in New South Wales. A New South Wales offence. We're at a New South Wales court. Our client resides in Victoria and at the time was on a Vic Roads, a Victorian driver's licence. So the kind of technical issue that popped up was whether an exemption for the interlock should be granted. Now, Victoria might have their own ideas about if my client goes back and tries to get a Victorian driver's licence, about penalising him again in their state for this offence. But for the sake of being penalised in New South Wales, if he was given the mandatory interlock order, which he was unable to do because he resides in New South Wales and was unable to get a New South Wales interlock licence, and if he failed to do that interlock period, then he would be put off the road for a mandatory minimum of 5 years. So that would have been an extreme level of hardship. For the sake of any sort of complication like that, the magistrate today granted an exemption of the interlock, and that did increase the period of disqualification. It doubled it for the minimum period of 12 months, which was backdated. But at the end of that period, my client is free to go and be relicensed again, and doesn't have to do the interlock program in New South Wales. So it's a lot cleaner approach we got today. He's very relieved and happy to now move on with his life. And I think being a first offence, one prior speeding entry in 10 years, extremely unlikely we'll see him back before the court again. But thanks for tuning in here at Albury Local Court in the very, very southern part of New South Wales. So I thought I'd have a wander around, check out the sights of Albury, and one of the main attractions that I came across is the Albury Railway Station. It is a heritage listed railway station at Railway Place in Albury, New South Wales. It's directly adjacent to the border of Victoria, and it was designed under the direction of John Whitten, built from 1880 to 1881. And it's a beautiful old train station, and it was added to the New South Wales State Heritage Register in 1999. Definitely well worth a visit, and it is in very good nick. It's been well preserved, this train station. So it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day here at Albury. I've just driven up the mountain to where the Albury War Memorial is. There's a big monument here, as you can see. It's quite stunning. It's got the flags up, lest we forget. We can take a walk around. As you can see in the background, you've got the township of Albury down there. Some pretty amazing views up here. Got some plaques recognising the Indigenous. Another plaque recognising the men and women who served in the Boer War. plaque recognising the servants in World War One. And as you can see, we go around. There's plaques recognising all of our servicemen and women in all the different conflicts. This is World War One, the Battle of Noreuil. I don't know how you say that. Noreuil. World War II conflict. North Africa from 1941 to 1942. Darwin defenders. All the veterans who served defending Darwin between 42 to 45, Second World War. Everyone who's served in the British Commonwealth Occupation Force in Japan between 1945 to 1952. All the Australian Defence and Police Forces that have served throughout the world. This one's in honour of the men and women who served Australia in the time of conflict during the Korean War between 1950 to 1953. This one's to honour the men and women who served during the Malayan emergency between 1950 to 1960. All national servicemen who served Australia in peace and war between 1951 to 59 and 1965 to 72. All the men and women who served during the Vietnam War between 62 to 75. Members of Australian Defence Forces served their country during the Indonesian confrontation, 1963 to 66. Men and women served Australia during the first Gulf War between 1990 to 1991 and the second Gulf War, which was much longer, between 2003 to 2009. That was after the 9/11 attack. What are the men and women Australian Defence Force that served during the Afghanistan War between 2001 to 2021? 20-year war. That was after the 9/11 attack too. And unfortunately, there's a blank plaque here, probably for a future conflict to be filled. So yeah, there's a lot of plaques honouring the men and women who served Australia in different capacities at different times. A lot of these wars, which were not even regularly talked about. We've got a lot of plaques here with names, numbers. Our comrades who remain on the battlefield of North Korea. This is the Korean War between 1950 to 1953. Then there's the Vietnam War, right through to World War II up here. And then there's another plaque. This is going back, obviously, in history, the Boer War, World War I. So there's a lot of names here, the countries that they passed away and their age, the date that they passed. So time to reflect on the great people, men and women, the Indigenous, the police, all the armed forces served our great country to allow us to live in an amazing country we live in today.
Gasolina para la mami, 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 mami. Para la mami, 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 mami. Para Bala mami, 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 mami. Bala mami, mami, mami.
So after leaving Albury, heading back to Melbourne, I had a few hours to kill before my flight out of Melbourne, so I decided to go to Ackland Street in St Kilda, where I got myself a nice bite to eat at this really cool trendy cafe called Abbey Road Cafe. Had heaps of musical memorabilia inside, splattered all over the walls, Hendrix, and obviously Abbey Road Cafe. It was a bit of a homage to the Beatles. Loved St Kilda, but did have to head back to the airport, where I sat and watched one of the most amazing sunsets I've seen in a long time. So what's been a massive 24 hours, I'm back on the airplane, heading back to Queensland, as I've got a Beaudesert matter tomorrow, so I will give you an update at Beaudesert after my court case tomorrow, and then the day after at Goondiwindi. Check in soon. Transition. It's Josh from Boorman Lawyers. Just a Beaudesert Magistrates Court. That's that white building behind me. That's the temporary courthouse, while the original Beaudesert Magistrates Courthouse up the road is getting torn down and rebuilt. So the new building should be good, but this is where we were today. My client was on a very tricky matter today. It was .081, low range, but occurred like a next day offence. So 7 a.m. in the morning, he drank a bottle of wine the night before, and he works as a chef out in the mine. So he was up near Chinchilla, and he was pulled over for speeding on the highway at about 7 a.m. in the morning as he was heading back to Brisbane. Still had a presence of alcohol in his system from the night before, .081. So the speeding was a slight aggravating feature, as too was his record. The tricky part about this matter was this was his seventh drink driving offence in his entire adult life. So the last one was 4 years ago, the one before that was 4 years ago, then there was about three within 2 or 3 years of each other, then some before that. So straight off the bat, I got up and told the magistrate that be warned, this is a very poor record she's about to look at, and she actually on her sentence thanked me for pre-warning her about the history. Now, whilst this offence itself wasn't the craziest of offences, objectively it wasn't the worst. Seventh drink driving, it just shows that the lessons aren't really being learnt by my client. Now, if we peel back the layers and dig a bit deeper as to why my client keeps making these poor decisions, finally, at the age of 45, he has been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and most importantly, ADHD, adult ADHD, where he makes impulsive decisions, and that leads to poor behavioural patterns throughout his adult life. So he's been diagnosed with those conditions. He's now booked in to see a psychiatrist, get help with that, and it's very hopeful that his prospects of rehabilitation moving forward will be positive, and I certainly hope this is the last time we see him before the system, because the magistrate gave him stern warning that next time he could be facing imprisonment. We got a pretty good outcome today for my client. He got 6 months off the road and a $1,000 fine, so he's very relieved about that, but a stern warning was given that any further offending will potentially face either suspended jail or full-time jail. So a very relieved client today, and I certainly do hope the best for him, hope he can move forward and get the right help he needs. He certainly seems to be on track to doing that, and hopefully it's the last time he needs to contact me to represent him at court for a similar sort of matter. Thanks for tuning in here at Beaudesert, the temporary Beaudesert Magistrates Court, and thanks for tuning in. G'day, it's Josh Borman from Boorman Lawyers. I'm just here at Goondiwindi Magistrates Court today. I've appeared on a middle range drink driving offence. The reading was .117 and there was nothing significantly aggravated about the matter. It was our client today was a 29-year-old, a Canadian national. He's been here for a few years working and travelling on a working visa. On the day of the offence, he'd been down to the McIntyre River with some friends. He'd had a couple of drinks around lunchtime. He returned back to where he lives in Goondiwindi here about 5 p.m. and had three further to his new full strength beers between about 5 till 7 p.m. And without thinking, he's unfortunately made a poor decision to call for some dinner at Porky's Pizza down the road, and without thinking, he's jumped in the car to go and pick the dinner up. On the way there, he was seen by police, probably driving a little quick on the roundabout, but they gave him police cause to pull him over and asked him some questions. And he then turned around and admitted to having consumed some drinks earlier that day and that night. They breath tested him, positive reading, and the final BAC reading .117. As mentioned, nothing significantly aggravated about the matter. He's got absolutely nothing on his traffic or criminal record since being in Australia since about 2018. So that good, clean record allowed me to submit to the court that this type of behaviour was very foreign to him, very out of character. And now that he'd completed the traffic offenders program and being a first offence and showing genuine remorse over the matter, it's extremely unlikely that he will ever make this same mistake again and have to appear back before the court system. So as mentioned, did the traffic offenders program. We got a good a strong letter of support. He wrote a very heartfelt apology letter to the court. We were chasing minimum outcomes today, mitigating his outcome due to the lack of aggravation and clean history, and the reading being towards the lower end of the middle range category. We were asking the court to consider the minimum disqualification of 3 months. That was agreed to by the magistrate. An appropriate fine of $650 was also given. And we did make an application for a Section 12 no conviction order due to the fact that the objective seriousness was lower on the scale of offending. Certainly there are more serious drink driving cases which come before the court and which I deal with. But also because of his clean record, and importantly the fact that he has aspirations of navigating his way through the migration process here in Australia, any recording of a conviction could cause some problems with that process. So magistrate agreed on this occasion not to record a conviction, so our client was extremely happy about that. So moving forward, I think he's learnt a massive lesson. He can move on with his life. 3 months off the road. He was given a stern warning by the magistrate that, he should have known that he was running a big risk on the night, and also outlined sort of what the potential risk could have been for other people in the community on that night. So the warning was taken well by my client, and I think massive lessons have been learned. Very unlikely we'll see him back before the court system again. Thanks for tuning in here at the wonderful and windy Goondiwindi. The old Wobbly Boot Hotel. This is quite a famous landmark in Boggabilla. Been here forever. Not much else in Bogabilla but the old wobbly boot. Looks a little run down, but got some plants coming out at the sign. But a nice old-fashioned Queensland pub, the Wobbly Boot. Alright, so I've just finished up at Goondiwindi Magistrates Court for my matter, and just done a quick detour down the road to Bogabilla. Obviously, it's in signage here, but there is a courthouse at Bogabilla, the Bogabilla local court. That's it right there. It's a very, very small old country courthouse, the Bogabilla local court. I dare say that this court would not sit too often, probably once every month or 2 months, but it's an old classic type of courthouse. Bit windy out here. You got the old-fashioned country water tank there. Bogabilla Courthouse, established in, if we have a look at the sign, established in 1896. So a bit of legal and courthouse history for everyone out there. There's no flag flying today. And then obviously, true to nearly all courthouses, there's a police station nearby, the good old Bogabilla police station. Anyway, we'll continue on our journey, and thanks for tuning in. Transition. So that's the end of the vlog for this week for the Travelling Lawyer. I just got to give a massive shout out to my old man for coming out west with me and giving me some support and providing me with some private chauffeur services. Thanks, Dad.
I want to thank you for tuning into Boorman Lawyers today. You can catch us at any of the usual social media platforms. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you've got any questions or queries, please don't hesitate to contact us on 1300 941 900.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video today. I really hope it was informative and helpful for you. There's another couple of videos below that you might want to check out that may be very useful for the process that you might be going through at the moment. Please feel free to like, follow, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we've always got fresh new content coming through all the time.